Hi, I'm Chloe and today I'm going to guide you through classical sun salutations. I have some blocks at the side of my mat. You can use books, sturdy books if you want to, and I'll show you how I'm going to use those later in the sequence. I've also got a bolster cushion. Again, I will show you in the sequence where we can use that as an option. Otherwise, meet me at the top of the mat. We're going to come into Tadasana, standing nice and tall, toes meeting together, slight space between the heels. This can come wider and be hip distance apart, if that's more comfortable for your body. Otherwise, grounding through all four corners of the feet, engaging the hands, tucking the tailbone in, shoulders back, hands facing in front of the mat. We're then going to raise the arms up overhead. Hands can stay apart here, or palms can meet overhead. I'm now going to come into a small back bend. If you know you have any injuries, or it's going to aggravate any part of your lower back, then please feel free to stay where you are. Otherwise, I'm going to inhale, pulling up through the front of the body, tucking and squeezing in those glutes, taking those arms overhead, keeping our balance and bringing those palms back to heart center. Wonderful. Well done. From here, we're going to hinge at the hips, keeping a nice straight back, so bending here, coming down, all the way down, hanging that head, relaxing into our deep forward fold. This is an option where we can use our blocks, so we can just bring that floor up a little bit more to meet us on our blocks, finding that nice relaxed spine, relaxed head. You can also bring those up higher if we need to, wherever you are comfortable. From here, I'm going to push into my palms and step back with my right foot into a low lunge. Remembering to keep our knee stacked nicely over our ankle. We don't want to pull any knees, so that's nice and strong. We have the option to be up on our blocks, to take that a little bit deeper and get that heart shone forward, opened up a little bit more. We can come up onto the blocks at further back and higher up, and this puts more of a stretch into the hip flexor and can create a little bit more pressure in the back here. So think about what feels good in your body and what modifications you might want to make to be comfortable. You can also have this leg, this back leg elevated. Nice strong line, shining the heart forward upon fingertips, toes and fingers all in one nice long line. Then we're going to bring our palms back down, pushing into the mat and stepping our left foot back to meet our right in our down facing dog. Here, we like to have a nice straight back. If you feel like you're hunching or rounding in the shoulders here, you can put a little bend into the knees to bring yourself a bit flatter. Don't worry if your heels aren't quite touching the mat. That bend can help you out with getting the flat back, which is more important. So nice Nice loose head, looking just back at the feet. Then pushing up to the balls of the feet, sending the weight forward into the shoulders, squeezing the core and the glutes, making a nice long line all the way up the legs and out through the head. Protracting the shoulders, pushing the ground away. If you find you're sinking in the shoulders, please bring your knees down to the ground. That might feel nicer. But still pushing the mat away and gripping through those fingers, finding that nice strength in the shoulders. So, as I was up here, we're all going to now bring our knees down to the mat. I'm now going to show you Ashtanga Namaskara, our knees, chest, chin pose. I'm going to demonstrate just shifting the weight first into the forearms to get a sense of the movement into the pose. Then I'm going to demonstrate with a bolster. This is where your average cushion could come in. And I'm going to show you how to use that to come down to the mat. And then I'm going to show you how to come all the way down to the mat. And you can choose whichever variation you feel that you're comfortable with, or have a go at all of them. Brilliant. So first of all, we're going to come onto our hands and knees, toes touching, knees on the mat, hands on the mat. And then we're going to just put a little dip into that spine, so arching that spine. So straight spine, arching the spine. We're going to grip the mat and then just shift our weight forward and see how that feels. So just pushing the weight through from the hips really slowly and kind of catching our weight as we come forward in the strength of our grip with our hands and the strength of our forearms and shoulders, and see how that feels. If you feel like, not sure, and you feel like you're coming down into your elbows a bit much, like you're not quite catching your weight, you can always come down onto the forearms. So move and then shift onto the forearms. Moving the weight forward, bending the elbows and coming down like this. So you can play with that. Or we can come down to our bolster or cushion. So shifting our weight forward, as demonstrated before, putting a bend into the arms, and then bringing our chest and chin slowly and mindfully down to the bolster. So bending, clasping the side of the body with the arms, and slowly placing gently our chest and chin on the bolster. Excellent, well done. Now I'm going to show you how to do all the way down to the mat. Okay, so same thing, on all fours, shifting our weight forward, bend into the elbows, supporting the weight of the chest slowly and mindfully going all the way down, and placing on the mat between the hands. Brilliant, excellent. From here, we are going to grip the mat with our fingers and palms and pull our chest through. And flatten out our feet, and we can either come onto our forearms into a sphinx, so a slight back bend. You can stay here in a sort of locust, Or we can keep our hands beneath our shoulders and slowly engaging the leg muscles and pushing up through the palms and the arms, come into our Cobra, Bhujangasana. Lovely. Remembering to squeeze the glutes and the gaze is forward. Pushing through the palms and sending our hips back onto our heels and onto our heels. Then we're going to push up through the feet and back into our downward dog, remembering any modifications that you took here before. Otherwise, we're going to meet in low lunge by sending our right foot forward between the hands. You can have your blocks waiting here for you. Otherwise, meet me in your low lunge. Remembering nice alignment of the knee over the ankle, nice and proud in the chest, and then stepping that left foot back to meet the right at the front of the mat and going back into our deep forward fold. And having a little rest here, remembering whether you need your blocks or knee bend, softening, relaxing. Then come all the way up, back into our extended mountain pose, remembering optional back bend, so meeting you there if that's where you're at today. Palms back to heart centre. Well done, we've just done one side. Now we're going to flow through now we're familiar with the postures and any options we might want to take, and now we're going to flow through at a more fluid pace. Okay, so Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, arms overhead. You can follow my breath cues if you want to, otherwise just breathe normally into our optional back bend. Exhaling, deep forward fold. Inhaling, low lunge, remember your options. Exhaling, front foot meets the back foot. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling, plank pose, Palakasana. Exhaling, dropping our knees down to the mat, bend in the back, chest all the way down. Ashtanga Namaskara. Inhale, Bhujangasana or Sphinx pose. Exhaling, shifting the weight back, down facing dog. Inhaling, bringing that foot forward, your right foot forward into your low lunge, remembering your alignment, any options you need. Exhaling, back into your deep forward fold. Well done. Inhaling all the way up into our extended mountain. Optional back bend or keeping those arms overhead, bringing the palms down to heart centre. Beautiful, well done. And that is our classical Sun Salutations. Thank you for joining me.